What's happening, man? You good?
Okay.
Good
Full
job.
screen, baby.
Okay. No, I'm figuring it out. I needed to rotate, put my phone on rotate.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Sorry, bro. I'm drinking and Warren's eating. It's a bit of a.
It's a bit of a shit show.
On a Monday.
It's Tuesday, bro. Jeez, you
Yes.
should. You
Oh,
drinking, bro?
shit. Sorry, I'm weight cutting. Things are a bit slow for me now.
Yeah, hundreds. And what's happening, man?
Lekker, man. Yeah, no, just doing the final touch-ups before we head off on Thursday. Yeah, just the fun part now, the weight cuts.
Who's going over with you?
I'm going with Zakir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like so Clint is away, but he took a bit of a break to Maldives. So while he's shaking his ass in white sands, punching faces.
Nice.
Nice, bro. So you say you're leaving Thursday. You're fighting in Romania, eh?
Yeah, Bucharest.
That's a bit of a interesting destination. How long's your flight?
8 hours Dubai, and then got a 3 hour layover, and then 5 hours from Dubai to Romania. Not too bad, but not ideal as well when you cutting weight and water loading and have to wake up every second to catch up, go to the loo.
Make sure you got an aisle seat, bro.
Actually, I had to go online and switch my seats because I was way up in the center so I had to bring my seats back. So I had to think ahead a little bit there.
Nice. So you're flying Thursday with a long flight and fighting on Saturday, weighing in on Friday morning.
I actually would be so it's gonna be with Romania's RXF, I think the organization is called. So I think they're doing a dual event on a Monday though. So weigh-in will be on a Sunday, and then the event is on the 4th, which is a Monday.
Because I was about to say, I don't know if you guys have thought this out. You might not make it to the weight cut.
Yeah. No.
Is that why it's also a short card? Like the brave portion of the card's only like 5 fights or so forth. Is it
4 fights. Yeah, I thought they added an extra fight. I think it's 5 fights now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think they're running the Brave event first, and then that RXF. Have you guys checked it out? Checked RXF out?
No, but we definitely
actually quite a legit promotion, very, very nice of how they do it up and things like that, in terms of the media aspects and things like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Dansheel, what I really wanted to ask you, sorry, before I let Warren take over here, tell us about how you came to be signed to Brave. I've heard talks of a premonition, maybe just taking a chance. So just fill us in on how that all worked out. You were in Sun City, you just had a pair of boardies there ready to go. So just fill us in on how that happened.
Yeah, so, after I decided not to sign again with the EFC, I took a chance, actually, with my agent, and I took a chance with a whole lot of things. And I left it to God, just left it to the Lord and said, whatever happens. I'll just keep training and wait for a fight and wait for an opportunity, And I heard Brave was coming in December. My teammates were both fighting at, what's it called? What's that? Local
Fight Star.
Amateur Fight Star, yeah, that's right. So Fight Star was held on a Friday, and then Brave was going to be Saturday. So I said, Brave is going to be here. Chances are guys are going to be coming to South Africa, long flights. Maybe guys are not going to make weight, or maybe guys are not going to rock up. So let me just bring a pair of fight shorts, a ball guard, and a mouthpiece, just in case, because the guys are going to be coming through anyway. And I'd rather just prep and stay I wasn't 5 foot ready, you know what I mean? You don't go through that. You go through those extra things like escapes. You're more like being there for your training partners, but still pushing them and keeping that intensity. So I was like, let me just keep pushing, keep the fitness up, and carry my stuff just in case. And I still remember being in the reception as we were checking in at the Soho there at Sun City. was like, if this guy doesn't, and I call out 3 guys, 3 fights, and one of them was Francis. And I said, you know what, if this guy doesn't fight, then I'll step in and I'll fight. And so happened, I kid you not, I get a call at 3 a.m. from my agent, and he was like, man, do you want to fight? I still remember going to the loo, and I was like, yeah, bring it, I'll fight. So I took it, and what was it, like 20, like less than 24 hours, and I was like, shit, this is what I do actually. So let me just fight. And
That's awesome, man.
rest was history, bro.
The crazy thing is your teammates didn't fight that weekend, eh?
No, like, I mean, this is how God works, man. This is how God works. Like, I mean, they weren't gonna fight, but and they got like super wasted the night before I was fighting, because like they didn't fight, and I'm like sitting in the room alone. They come back to the room drunk, and they like waking me up. But I mean that's how the universe works, right? So
Clint's a bit of a hooligan at
this
Sun
was-
City, though, eh?
Who?
Clint's a bit of a hooligan at Sun City. I've been to Sun City with him once, bro.
Gotta love him, man. Gotta love him.
That guy's got a serious party gene in him, man.
I think it's back for me with MG and Gladiator.
Yeah, he's gonna remember that one when you get back, eh, boy.
I remember Clint
my
used to
God,
do this
you-
punishment thing where like
Definitely good leg kicks for that.
yeah, well that's the thing, like if you like fuck around at training and stuff, you just catch leg kicks from Clint. And there's like one oak in this country you don't want to catch a leg kick from, and that's Clint. Bro.
Yeah, I'm definitely don't want to do that. But so obviously you had those things all work out for you with Brave. What sort of contract did you sign with Brave? Was it a multi-fight or what was the deal at the time?
So like, as soon as the fight happened, I mean, I'm so fortunate that I have a good agent. He really looked out for the interest of my career. So we didn't just like take the fight as a once-off thing. So we got a multi-fight deal, 3-fight deal, inclusive of that South African fight. And this was just back and forth, like couldn't get guys the whole year I've been training. Ever since then, I've just been since start of 2019. I've just been at the gym training, waiting for the fight. I mean, it's just been up and down. And then I was first part of China, and then China had that whole issue with the elections with Hong Kong and China, so they had to cancel that card. And then Philippines was the next week, and they canceled that card. So I was offered a fight in London in July, but then I couldn't take that because I went to Russia for a little while.
You went to
So-
Russia.
Yeah, I went to Russia.
What were you doing for Russia? What were you doing in Russia, bro?
I come to smash this guy.
Sorry, say that again.
I come to smash this guy. No, I went to Russia with a bit of a work thing. So I was there for a week and a half. Yeah.
You
So-
do realize, bro, that when you say you randomly went to Russia for a bit of a work thing, people are going to ask some questions about
yes.
what sort of work are we
No,
talking
no.
about? Yeah.
Okay, so I have a day job as well. So I live a pretty much a double life.
Okay.
I train in the mornings and afternoons, and then I'm a pharmaceutical sales rep by day.
In Russia.
This story is sounding
This is
even
getting-
more
this
sketchy.
is getting crazier and crazier by the second. Yeah. How's the pharmaceutical industry in Russia? Bro? Oh, that's awesome.
You guys are killing me.
Okay, sorry, but
Yeah,
carry on with
so-
your story. So you were in Russia?
No, I mean, I obviously didn't take that fight in July. So
Was that the closed door
Yeah,
event? The private?
Yeah.
sorry.
Was that
Yeah,
closed door
yeah.
private event?
Yeah, that like a red carpet event. So, fortunately, I actually didn't take that. Lucky I didn't take that fight, but the guy they offered me ended up pulling out of the fight due to injury like 2 days before the fight.
Oh, shit.
So like, I mean, see how this is how the universe works, man. So like, I feel like this is the right time for me now. November is the right time for me. I've attracted the positive energy. I'm ready to, utilize all the new skill sets that I've been evolving for the last year, and I'm next level. Like I feel like I've reached a new level mentally, physically. I got a new strength and conditioning coach from the States. So he's taking care of my hydration, my weight management, my nutrition. Because I'm a plant-based as well. So, I mean, I'm doing everything right, man. Like, it's nothing I'm leaving to chance. Yes, I'm not bowling any. I'm not trying to winging anything. Everything is done with a science right now. My schedule is very strict. And let me tell you, I look forward to my Sundays, but that's complete rest.
Nice. Obviously, the elephant in the room here is you're competing in November coming up now. Just around the corner, Braves announced that they're going to be in your hometown a few weeks later. Obviously, you want to be on that card, man. So what's the thinking there? Are you talking to Brave about being on that card? I mean, obviously, if there's fights, I know sometimes it's hard to talk about, but where are you with that?
Obviously, at the moment, I'm not like at liberty to say what's happening with the Durban card because I haven't signed anything. But definitely looking to be on that card, in December. And I mean, they are coming to Durban now, just like down the road from where I live now.
Sure.
where they're having the event, I have to be on that card. To be honest, my need is to be on that card. I want to be on the card. I have to be on the card. It is 4 weeks out from exactly almost 4 weeks from when I returned from Bucharest. But, this is what I do, man. I've been working so hard for these opportunities. And like, again, sometimes we do things and we plan for things, but, the universe has different plans for us. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just staying ready and doing what I can, controlling what I can control. And, man, if it's meant to me to be on that card, I'll be on that card. But, Soldier Boy came to the gym recently, and he did a training with the amateur guys, and I mean, that guy got a lot of knowledge, and he's got a lot of wisdom. And he just said something to that group, and it stuck with me. Was if he could turn back the hands of his time of his journey, he would try to slow things down and just enjoy it. Sure. So that's what I'm really doing now. I'm just enjoying this journey. I'm putting in the hard work because at that level, everybody's putting in the work. Shouldn't be a thing if you're not putting in the work. So definitely putting in the work. So just enjoying the journey. And if I'm able, I'm fit, I'm healthy too, and I'm ready to accept that fight for Durban, I will.
100%.
After Romania.
Hopefully the universe can give you a 30-second first round submission in Bucharest, and then that's the problem.
Let me tell you, that sounds good.
Definitely. Well, bro, thank you so much for your time, man. We wish you the best of luck. It's always nice to see South Africans on foreign shores doing the damn thing in the name of our country, and we appreciate your work, bro, and we wish you all the best out there, and hopefully we'll see you in Durban.
Shot, brother. Thanks for having me, guys.
Pleasure,
Sweet,
buddy.
dude. Have a good one, man.
Cool, man. Take care of your hand. What happened to your hand, man?
I had to have some shoulder surgery, but I gotta learn how to tap to those arm bars, dude. I keep hanging on for too long.
You pitched up for wrestling practice. That's what happened.
Yeah, wrestling will get you. Wrestling will get you.
Oh shit! Wrestling, you'll find your soul again.
Yeah, dude, wrestling will get you. So I've got to go back to Apex at some time and see if my shoulders are there somewhere.
Awesome.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah,
ciao,
man. Enjoy your drink.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. Thanks.
Enjoy the weight cut. Ciao, brother.
Ciao, man.
Awesome. Dansheel Moodley. What a legend.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's quite a little bit of a 6-week period he's got ahead of him.
Yes, dude.
Fuck.
Good luck with that.
Straight back into it.
Jeez, bro. 4 weeks turnaround is intense, but I mean, in your hometown,
yeah,
you just got to.
I mean, what's the chances you're going to be signed to an international organization? They're going to come to your hometown, especially when you live in Durban,
Especially on a whim, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like everything's kind of gone his way. Like you've rocked up at Sun City on a whim, hoping.
Well, it's kind of not gone his way and resulted in going his way.
Pretty cool. And fuck Bucharest, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like it's definitely not on my top 500 destinations to see. You know what I mean? Like that's the cool thing about it, though.
Yeah.
Like you're like Bucharest. I'm like
Brave's
Romania. He's like Bucharest. I'm like
Brave's got a crazy spectrum of locations that they're willing to go to.
Don't you think that's like their plan is just to cover as many territories as possible.
Yeah,
Just
and try
smash
and get
it.
into the territories that the UFC haven't gone into yet.
Boy, either you've had a long night of truth, or you got a bit of a flu happening there. What's
No,
going
man,
on?
fuck. You know what happened, right? My whole life I haven't had allergies, and then
You
when
moved to
when
Joburg.
I moved to Durban, bro. I moved to Durban. I got the first week I was there. I was like, something's up, and now like every change of season, I get fucking wrecked. So
Unacceptable.
I'm like actually not. I'm not like I don't have flu.
Yeah.
I'm training. I've just come from like 2.5 hours of training.
Well, if anyone gets sick tomorrow, you know where to go.
Trained yesterday. Trained this morning. Like I'm fine. Like there's like my chest is fine. It's like my sinuses just fucked. Bro.
Okay. Nice.
And you know like like the worst part of having like fuck sinuses is when Rich calls for those positional rounds, and you got someone on you like every minute for like
Yeah.
5 or 6 rounds in a
Do
row.
or
and you're
die,
like,
boy.
Fuck.
Do or die. How's the weekend, son? Feels like it's been a lifetime since we were here.
We were here last week, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. But it seems like
It's because you
lifetime
don't
ago.
train anymore because of that
I
stupid
know.
shoulder.
Stupid torn
Fucking
labrum.
Yeah. Good, eh? I had to take like a week off after Submission Kings. So like I didn't train last week, but I'm back
Okay.
at it this week.
Nice.
Hitting it hard for that end of year event. So
For the invitational. You've been invited, eh? Jeez.
yeah, boy.
You know you've made it when you've made the 8-man invitational.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We're taking it serious.
That is, I was actually speaking to Jay this week because they want to come on the show. Such a sick concept for me, bro. Like my only crit of those guys is that like the media work could have been slightly better. The design work and stuff like could have really made it pop. But look, it's really good. I just feel like it could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But the concept, like everything, it's like this show, like my face sucks, but the content's pretty good, so you're gonna keep listening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the concept is pretty badass, dude.
It's a good start.
I really
think it's a
dig.
good
I really
start.
dig that concept. I
Yeah.
dig that invitational style. You know, like you've handpicked, like you're kind of playing like matchmaker. You've handpicked a couple of guys to see how it turns out. I think it's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm super.
And the rule
stoked
set's
for that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I generally primarily only compete in submission only events. I just prefer it that way.
Yeah.
But so like it really does, like the rule set suits me, and it suits people watching the event, because
Yeah.
sometimes jiu-jitsu can be really boring. Like
Sure.
I love
Sure.
jiu-jitsu.
Like point style jiu-jitsu gets.
I do. I personally do jiu-jitsu every day, Monday to Saturday, sometimes twice a day. I spend hours a day doing it. But like sometimes I can watch IBWJF World Champs, and I'm like, fuck, I can't watch another minute of this. You
Always
know?
like the ADCC. can't
You watch
look
like
eyes
Jackson
away, bro.
Souza. Have you ever watched Jackson?
Yeah.
Like he's the fucking worst, bro.
Yeah.
He just gets there and he just like stalls the entire match.
Yeah.
And like I love jiu-jitsu and I can't watch that, bro. So like at least with EBR, there's like it's quite a big push for like submissions, you know?
And like the thing is, like you get to see like as like students of the sport in the submission style, you get to see a lot of transitions, a lot of different attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So you get to learn a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you get to see and do a lot more, which is pretty badass.
I used to think that the EBR rule set was the ultimate, like, because, you know, like they put you in a bad position in the
Yeah.
overtime rounds and then you have to get the submission or the quickest escape. I used to think that was the greatest, but then when we went to Submission Kings, they had submission only as well,
Yeah.
except there was no overtime.
Yeah.
It went down to a ref's decision, and the ref's decision was purely based on who attacked the most submissions.
Yeah.
So that actually ended up working out pretty well, and I thought after seeing it play out in Submission Kings, it kind of changed my mind that potentially that is the better system,
Sure.
because even with EBR rules, some guys, they'll get to like the last 45 seconds and they know that all their submission attempts have been futile, and they'll just hang back and they'll wait for the overtime rounds so they can get put in a bad position, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I love submission only events, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Cool. It looks like they've got quite a cool little roster going there.
Yeah, I think
Starting to come together quite nicely.
the guys who were invited under 75 was Jamie Gemmell, Martin van Staden, Chris Wilson, Paul Fragudis, I don't know how you say his surname, Greek guy, purple belt that had that good match with Chris in the last event.
Yeah.
Myself, Pick Steel, Francois Meyer,
Yeah.
and I'm missing someone. But then they've got like Luke in the over 75. They got Luke Griffith,
Yeah.
Stain DeLange. I mean, they had a flipping epic battle at ADCC. Some EFC guys on there. Mr. Kicks is on there. Stefan Pretorius.
He's a big fellow. Eh?
Yeah, he is. So yeah, I think it's gonna be good. It's at Alberton Wrestling Academy. So
very cool.
8th of December, people should come watch.
Yeah, we'll definitely get them on before.
Yeah.
Have a chat. I just want to draw your attention over here, Mr. King.
Oh, I love Gregor Gillespie, bro.
Dude,
how good is that fight?
Dude.
Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie.
You know what's funny, bro? Like, and this is the funniest thing about MMA and especially the UFC. Like, you announce a fight like Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal, okay, and Darren Till, Kelvin Gastelum. And like I'm a sucker for Fight Week, bro. I think I love Fight Week more than fights.
All the embedded videos. Like even if the embedded videos are shit,
exactly,
you still watch it.
I'm watching interviews. I'm watching inside the octagon. Everything. I'm balls deep in that shit, dude. And then I'm like, bro, who the fuck else is on this card? Like you've completely forgotten, dude. And then today I was like, let me actually go have a fat look at this card,
bro. This so
fight
good,
here, bro. Vicente Luque. So on the weekend I watched Vicente Luque versus Barberena, dude.
Oh yeah,
bro. Honestly, I think that's the 5th time I've watched that.
How underrated is that oak striking,
dude?
Henry Hoof has turned that oak into an absolute savage, bro.
Dude, he is an absolute animal. Can take a punch.
Did you ever watch him on the Ultimate Fight of the Black Zillions? Yeah, it was so good, bro.
Beast, dude. Absolutely. This fight here could headline almost any card, bro.
But you know what's crazy is like there's not a single title fight on this card, but it's fucking stacked.
It's crazy.
It's an epic
There's
card,
a BMF title fight. What are you talking about here?
Have they released the belt yet?
I think. Well, there's supposed to be a belt.
No, there is a belt.
Yeah.
Like the did you watch the Countdown show?
Yeah.
Dana was talking about how he's like put the suggestion towards everyone, and they were like, actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, look, I think they should wait till somebody wins and they just get their face engraved into a belt. I think that's the only way to do it.
Oh man,
dude, and then Derek Lewis.
This
fight has a potential to be a bit of a snoozer. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Derek Lewis fan.
Yeah.
I love his Instagram.
Love the Instagram. Fight style, I'm not the biggest fan.
I like this Kevin Lee Gregor Gillespie fight because I think it's a good opportunity for Gregor Gillespie to show everyone like just how fucking good he is. Bro.
My only thing with this fight is that Gregor Gillespie is quite a small lightweight, and Kevin Lee's quite a big lightweight. Yeah. The two guys that are gonna obviously it's gonna be. With that being said, I was gonna say like quite a grappling heavy kind of exchange. Gregor Gillespie is no fucking bum on the feet, dude.
No, 100%, bro. But you know the thing is,
he's
like
actually a fucking animal.
There's levels to this. So everyone's like, oh, Kevin Lee can wrestle, but Oak's gonna see like wrestling versus like world class wrestling versus like pretty good wrestling.
High grade wrestling.
Yeah. So I mean that's gonna be. Dude, please can we just talk about my boy choking out Mr. Askren this weekend?
I knew you wouldn't let that one slip, boy.
Bro, did you see that little thing I posted with all the jiu-jitsu guys? Yeah. Oh, it was so good, bro. That's exactly how I felt.
You know, my only gripe with that was the first round was the worst fucking stand-up fight in history. I was like, please.
I'll overlook that, bro.
Please
for Damian Maya, bro.
Please go to the ground. So I was listening to some shit today, and they were like, I think it was Ben Sharp. He was like, Damian Maya looked like Floyd Mayweather against fucking.
Yeah, bro. Did you check how he like landed that cross like just before they went into the exchange? It was like you'd reckon that he was like a world class striker.
Dude, it was so bad. But yeah, dude, like it was a fucking cool fight. You know what was cool about it? Because like even in those fights, in like the stand up exchanges, you knew the ground was coming eventually.
Yeah.
So you were just like kind of like, okay, cool. Enough punching now. Let's have a look what's happening, fellas.
I love how Damian Maya's squeeze is so crazy that he gets just the cross arm.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like connect and he like can't connect.
Grabs his elbow, dude.
But like as he's like trying to connect, the Askren's dorsing, bro. Oh, it was so good, bro.
Yeah.
It was so good.
That's two sleeping sessions.
Oh yeah, it's hectic.
For the funk man, bro.
21-0 or 21-0 and now he's 21-2.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Slept twice.
You can't be the best until you're in the UFC, dude.
Yeah.
That's how it
100%.
goes. That's how it goes. And I mean, let's not forget Damian Maya is 159 years old.
Yeah. 41 with 22 victories now, hey?
Dude.
He's got the
What a
most submission
beast.
victories now.
Bro, that looks like an animal at 42, bro.
Yes, he's the greatest grappler in MMA history. Like, I love that guy. You know, like the universe, like really like shone down on me when I was in New York last year, because I was going to Henzo Gracie Academy, and I was just walking down the street, and I looked to the left, and I see this UFC bag on the on this back of this guy, like standing at one of the restaurants. I was like, so I like look at this guy, and I'm like, that's fucking Damian Maya. I was like, never. So I walk up to him, I'm like, my girl, I don't know what, but like, fuck, like you Damian Maya, you're like the greatest ever, bro. He's like, oh, and he was like talking to me. He was like, oh, but you know Kurt in Cape Town. He's like, because you know, his, through, I think he trains a little bit at Henzo Gracie Academy. He's like the coolest oak ever, bro. Like, yeah, good experience.
That's
I was
awesome.
so fucking pumped that he beat that oak, bro. Jeez, like it.
Mr. Askren, bro. Just hang on a second here, bro. This is something that people have also forgotten, bro. All of this shit is going on. And, like, it's quite cool because there's a lot of implications here.
Yeah.
Title shot if you win. Possibly a title shot if you win. Title shot if you win. Okay. This fight here doesn't really make sense to me, to be honest. Maybe Derek Lewis. This year, if Gregor Gillespie gets past Kevin Lee, all of a sudden he's like
a
in
top
the
10
mix,
guy.
This dude versus Khabib is hell of a interesting.
Very interesting.
Hell of a interesting.
'Cause I don't think Khabib can
But
control
nobody's
him.
talking about it, bro. Look at the fucking head of the prelims, dude. Corey Anderson versus Johnny Walker, bro.
Both those oaks are going up for a light heavyweight title shot next, bro.
Dude,
That's like that's a massive fight.
How is a lightweight contender fight at the top of the prelims, bro?
Yeah.
Surely this should be in place of my boy Blagoy, who wasn't he like stabbed in the neck or something?
Oh yeah. All that Russian shit is hectic.
Crazy.
But then look at the next fight, bro. Shane Burgos versus
Amir
Makwan
Khan.
Amakani. Makwan Amakani did that like flying knee knockout against
Yeah.
that British oak like
Yeah.
a couple of years ago.
Also got that freak wrestling shit that he does.
Yeah.
Like
And
a
Shane
heavy
Burgos is fucking good in the feet, bro. Like
Brad Tavares,
Edmund Shabazian, like
Yeah.
that's also a fucking crazy good fight, bro.
Andrei Arlovsky versus
Andrei Arlovsky's got like the golden ticket, right? He can lose as much as he wants. The UFC doesn't give a shit.
he's probably fighting for free, bro.
I don't know, I think he's
Rosenstruck.
I think he's on like one of those $100,000 contracts, bro.
Chukian.
That's also a
Maya.
very interesting fight because that's also the next contender
Yeah.
in the ladies
early prelims
flyweight
as well.
division,
Cheapers.
and that's her hometown. Lyman Good's also fucking good.
Kim Dawadu. Yes, dude, this card is actually ridiculous. Some fight cards you can just breeze through some of the early prelims.
Yeah,
You are literally in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's that? 10. You're in for 13 fights Sunday morning, boy.
yeah. I think it's an epic card.
Yeah, I think.
Not a single title fight on it, but might be the best card of the year.
Yeah, dude. This right here must be Diaz is. Fuck, bro. What do you think, bro? And people are asking us for our predictions already, but let's just talk about this one just a little bit.
I think Masvidal takes it. I'll be honest with
I think that's general consensus, dude. I don't know, though. I don't know. My thing is like, I think in my head I see it going the distance. You know what I mean? Does Masvidal carry that same power, cardio in rounds 4 and 5 as Diaz, or can Diaz outpoint him, like really pour it on in the end?
It's such a weird situation because I think, like Nate Diaz in all his fights he gets tagged. Even when he dominates the fight, he gets tagged.
Yeah.
And Masvidal's not someone that you can get tagged by.
Yeah.
Like I know they said the same thing about Conor, but Conor hurt Diaz a couple of times, right? So I think if it stays standing for all 5 rounds, I think Diaz is going to lose that fight, even though his boxing is great.
Sure.
But I think if Masvidal gets caught up in a grappling match with Diaz, I think he's going to get fucking tapped, bro. I think there's so many variables. Diaz's ground game, I know everyone's like, oh, he's a black belt. He's like a fucking good MMA grappler, bro.
Yeah.
So my personal opinion, it just depends, like in what mind frame. Are they going to stand there and just bang each other for 5 rounds? Because then I think Masvidal takes that. But if they grapple it out for a couple of rounds, then I think Diaz will definitely
So
get a sub
you'd
there.
say Diaz has the advantage on the ground.
Yeah. Not in the wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think Masvidal could probably out-wrestle him a little bit. But Diaz is slick, bro, like with those triangles.
I just think the kind of guys they are, they'll
it's going to be a stand-up.
Yeah, in their minds, they're like, we're going to stand here and beat the snot out of each other and let the best man win, bro.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. I feel like there's like a silent agreement between them. That being said, bro, I think Masvidal and his team have really proved like their ability to map out an opponent.
Yeah.
And like, look, I think we know what Nate Diaz is going to bring. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to all of a sudden walk in and start throwing like spinning round kicks. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to do what he does, you know? So it's easy, I don't want to say easy, but there's a pathway to prepare for a guy like that. You know what I mean? You know how to prepare, you know what he's going to do. But if you watch like guys like Dan Hardy break down the knockout of Ben Askren and how like there was this cool thing they do, they pause it like with an aerial shot with Ben Askren shooting on Robbie Lawler, and they remove Robbie Lawler out of the picture, and then they like bring Masvidal in, and it's the exact same stance. His entry into the double leg is exactly the same, and that's exactly how he knocks him out.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing he did, everyone's like, we saw this crazy flying knee, but it was completely mapped out.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we saw videos of him practicing it and stuff, but these guys have gone to that exact detail that they know he's going to shoot his double leg with his head to the left, and the knee's going to be there as an option because he's always going to do it. You know what I mean? They've used that predictability against him. So that's the kind of like technicians you're dealing with. You know what I mean? That they're going to sit and map somebody out. You know, be it Mark Brown or whoever it is at American Top Team that does these sort of things. It's a fucking serious technicians that are they know what they're doing.
No, hundreds. What's happening at American Top Team at the moment with Covington, Masvidal?
I don't know, bro. Like it's
and Poirier. It
like
seems
it's
like
not,
it's fucking
it's not the first time that there's been things like that, bro. I remember Tyron Woodley and Robbie Lawler having like, you know, they had to fight, and there was a bit of a weird thing going on there.
But at least
I think
Tyron
that
Woodley
facility's so big though, bro. Like you can.
But I don't think Tyron Woodley trains in the main facility. He's at a satellite gym. Because Din Thomas is in Orlando most of the time. So, I mean, that you can kind of get around. But these oaks literally live and train in the same city.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll just imagine that. The thing is with Colby Covington is obviously like, if you listen to what people say about him and stuff, I mean, we don't know him, so we can't really say, but it's just an act. You know what I'm saying? But you've taken your act so far that you're now like just starting to piss everybody off. Yeah. You don't even care.
Even
anymore,
your teammates.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know? Even your boss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm loving the beef between him and fucking Dana White. It makes me laugh, bro. What did he say to Dana? He's like, I'm going to slap him with a belt if he tries to put it around me. And they're like, ask Dana's like, he can try. But you know, like, that's the thing, bro. Like, you know, we've seen, so even if you are Colby Covington, bro, you know, like, that shit never works for you in the end. Eventually, you're just going to get fucked, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
I think we saw with the Cyborg debacle. Yeah, exactly. It's like, doesn't matter how great you are or how dominant you are. If the UFC don't like you, then you can just get fucked.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's UFC 244. I have not been this excited for a fight card. Look, I get excited for almost every fight card, but there's those extra ones that just get you in the goodies.
This is great. This is absolutely
I have
phenomenal.
not been this excited in a long time. But to be honest, like the rest of the pay-per-view events from here on out, the rest of you are pretty fucking crazy.
That December card is mental,
dude,
bro. The 14th of December.
Crazy.
3 title fights. You got the welterweight title fight, the ladies title fight with Nunes, and there was one more title fight. What was the third one?
It's Usman.
Usman Covington.
Bro, still got Zabit vs. Qatar in Russia. That's the card. Champion Dulce's on here.
Yep.
Fight night.
Overeem Harris. You see Walt Harris's daughter's missing.
Yeah, missing. How crazy is that? But surely he can't still be fighting if she's missing, bro. So let's have a look at Usman vs. Covington.
Holloway
versus Volkanovski. That's a fucking great fight, dude.
It is,
Durandamy versus... Marlon Moraes versus Jose Aldo. That's at bantamweight, eh?
Yeah.
Ooh, Peter Yan versus Uriah Faber.
I think Peter Yan will win that fight. Bro.
Matt Brown, Ben Saunders. Okay, these are going to go into prelims and stuff like that. Brandon Moreno.
Even
versus Kai
Kara France, that's a good fight.
Nice. Okay. This is a cool fight as well. Ortega vs Korean Zombie. Yeah, the rest of that card's going to be interesting. What did I click on now?
No idea.
You bastards.
Nemarov vodka.
A UFC for sure. Let's sort this card out. And then there's the Kamaru Usman. Oh no, that's one we just looked at, eh?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I clicked load more. That's exactly what I clicked. You bastards.
Yeah, I know. More.
No, there must be. Okay, well, it's in the works.
Yeah.
Then we
come back to South Africa.
It's so sad to go do this. But anyway, we can talk about this. They've announced another fight. Chitamba vs Chipumbo.
So that's a very nice
It's
fight.
a cracking fight, dude.
That's a great fight.
Cracking fight. I'm super stoked.
What I like about it, right, is even though Chipumba lost to Fafa Dwama, they're like, we actually don't care about that. Another number one contender fight for you. Get straight back in there.
Yeah. Yeah, but listen, bro.
And Fafa, you're not getting the next shot as well.
I'm not mad at that, bro.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jake Hadley is going so hard in the paint, bro.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw him and Shane Braff having a go at each other.
Dude, let me just see here if we can see what Mr. Hadley says. Where was it?
Was it on Facebook? Facebook.
Was it on Facebook?
I think so.
He was
That's a nice little fight.
didn't he say something here? I'm sure he did, bro. No. Oh yeah. Anyway, shout out to Lutando Biko going to Pancrase to face BK's opponent. That's pretty cool.
That looks like hard pressed to get a win against
He's
an
like
African opponent.
and they're like if you had to like close your eyes and open, you'd think it's the same fight. If you just look at this picture, they literally just took Biko. If you're good at Photoshop, you could probably remove Biko and BK will still be in the back of the picture.
I love how they say wrestling in the background. Like why does it say
Wrestling. Hey, on the across the South African flag.
Oh, it's hybrid wrestling. It's just the Pancrase logo. Sorry, it just makes it look like they're trying to say that he's a wrestler from South Africa.
This here being the key, bro.
Yeah.
One FC, dude.
I wonder when BK is gonna get a run.
He said fight news coming soon recently, eh? I'm pretty sure. Anyways, yeah, Jake Hadley's been going hard in the paint, bro. He's obviously like, trying to adopt that style to shock and awe you to get a fight, calling out everybody left, right, and center. He said something about Biko coming down to flyweight. I thought that was actually going to happen. It doesn't look like it's happening. Big ups to Lutando though. That's really cool for him, bro. It's such a good opportunity to get that doorway into One FC.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, can't wait to see this fight. Makes two of us. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find his comments. Anyway, back to the card.
Yeah, Jake doesn't give a shit about anyone.
Yeah, he's crazy, bro. Shaping up already. Like I said last week, I'm a little bit disappointed this card's not already done.
So there's been so many rumors about the Saxon fight. Like, I heard Dino Bagatin now. I heard
Saxon
seems
seems to be
Elaine.
Yeah, it's not. It's like obviously guys are trying to. Don't mind me. It's been a long day. Obviously he's campaigning to try to get that fight. Like whichever way. Dude, the big travesties for me here and the way it's shaping up. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hearing that the UFC are going to be announcing, well, it must be 2 fights over the next 2 days to finish up the main card, exactly like they did today. So in the next 2 days, we'll have the main card done. I'm starting to get like a little bit teary-eyed at the thought that we might not see Saxon Delafield, we might not see Eleni Lunga, we might not see Cheso Pupanga, we might not see Conrad, we might not see all of these guys we were really hoping to see, guys that have been active, guys that have, you really want to see end out the year. Like if Eleni Lunga's not on this card, I think it's a travesty, dude. I honestly think it's a travesty because if he has to sit out another long period, bro,
Yeah.
it's going to be heartbreaking. But I just don't want to see talent like this just wasting away at the wayside. You know, that's my concern. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those fights are still coming up. Yeah, let's see.
Well, look, if Elaine's on that card, and that's one of the fights, who would Elaine fight? Anisette or Saxon?
Saxon, yeah, at lightweight. Yeah.
And then, what's another one that's been?
Well, Saxon's in the mix between Elaine Ilunga, Anisette, Dino Bagatine.
Yeah.
Anisette's quite determined that he's going to be on this card. I don't know if that's happening. I heard stories about Rudy Ritz maybe being on this card, but you know.
Yeah, I also heard Saxon Rudy. That was another one that I heard.
So, yeah, there's a you know, like long.
Either some of the bigger names are going to take a backseat and go into the prelims, or we're just going to miss out on a couple of fights.
Yeah, I don't know. We wait.
Well, let's see. 2 more days. Two
Yeah.
more fights.
2 more days, we'll know what's going down. Well,
Yeah.
by the time what's today? By the time this comes out, most of it will be out. What do you think about this fight? Obviously, as we get closer, we'll break this all down nicely. But what do you think at first look? Amanda Lino versus Manon.
Manon's scary, man.
So is Amanda Lino, dude.
No, 100%. And you know, like, every time Amanda gets put up against someone, you're like, oh, I don't know if she can do this one.
Yeah.
And then she beats Ruslan. And then, you know, like, you look at, you know, Amanda's like almost like the female Brendan Lazar. Like, you don't really like bet against them.
Yeah.
You know? With that said, Manon is very scary.
Yeah.
She, just watching her fights in the fights of season 2, like, she demolished everyone. There wasn't even a fight that was even slightly close. You know, I think I can't remember who her first fight was, but her second fight against Becky Ainscock, that was difficult to watch eventually. Then you watched her fight against Connie. She obliterated someone who beat her previously.
Yeah.
And then you watched her finale against Melanie, Melanie was never in that fight. So it's like difficult to think how she could lose at this stage, because Connie generally dominates in the grappling. Connie couldn't get it to the ground. And Melanie, who's a 23-4 Dutch kickboxer, recently signed to fight for a K1 World Grand Prix or whatever, couldn't do anything in the stand-up against Manon. So it's just, we haven't seen how to beat her yet, you know?
Yeah. I think Amanda might have the secret, though. I think that, like, on the gumgo, like, bite down on the mouthpiece, forward no matter what, get it to the ground, maybe, like, throw her around a bit, might be the key. Dude, I think it's such an interesting fight, to be honest. I think it's going to be a super, super exciting fight. I think it's actually a fucking great fight, to be honest. Because Amanda Lino, like you say, you just can't cut her out. She's quite unorthodox, actually. The way she throws, she's quite wild, you know? And I think, like, that like clinch sort of range is where Amanda wins that fight.
And people, like, must forget that Amanda's got a deep history of fighting international.
Yeah.
I mean, she won the IMAF World Championships, something Manon wasn't able to do.
Yeah.
She lost to Connie in the World Championships. And she beat Ruslan. She beat the Irish chick.
Yeah.
Queely or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool fight. Well, hopefully this card
Always support the South African, obviously.
Sure. Hopefully this card gets decked out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah, dude.
Did EFC facilitate that Pancrase negotiation?
There was a statement by the EFC which should clear that up for you if you can just bang in the EFC there on the keyboard, my boy.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's what I say. I think it was on here. There was a statement about. Here we go. EFC and Pancrase. Biko signs a multi-fight deal with Pancrase Japan. Its collaboration will ensure our African talent is exposed to a new fan base. Former EFC bantamweight champion and super talented Thunder Biko signs a multi-fight deal with leading Japanese promotion. His first fight is set for December against Mr. Akikubo.
Suki Akikubo.
Yeah.
That oak looked so bleak in that
Shucks,
GK
dude.
fight.
He was depressed, eh?
Yes, he looked like he needed like a stiff drink afterwards just to like get his spirits up because fuck, he just like as the rounds were going on, he just couldn't believe what was happening to him.
I just gotta give a wee
Oh.
zoom here.
Apart from needing your shoulder fixed, you also need to get your eyes
Shit,
fixed.
dude, I'm figuring this out, eh?
You just turn and look behind you.
There we go. He's a talent and international promotions recognize that. We will match him here in Africa with hopes of getting him EFC gold back, and Pancrase will build him in Japanese circuit. He's sure to make waves globally. So yeah, it seems like one of those he'll be fighting in both kind of scenarios. I don't know how those. I don't know if those work out, man. Like you can't. I don't know. Well, I suppose Drickus
Some
is
guys successfully
out
do.
there doing the damn thing. That's better now. I can see.
In
exactly
fairness,
what's
though, we haven't seen Drickus in 2 years in the octagon. in the
This was
hexagon.
another thing I wanted to say about Amanda. You know, you take someone like Manon, who's been super active.
What, she's had like 6 fights in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone who's been not active at all. When last did Amanda fight, even? Is the question.
There was talks of Bunmi going to Brave. Was that anything legitimate?
Not that I've seen or heard. Well, she's 1-1, but she's had, what, 3 exhibition fights?
Yeah.
And we say exhibition fights, EFC for sure. Let's sort out this website. And we're frozen. Okay, she last fought Rizan Zuak at EFC 70. I don't know when that was. It was quite some time ago.
Yeah,
13 events.
I think I put on that card if I'm not mistaken.
EFC 70 against Rizan Zuak. Was it not in Durban?
Yeah, Sabaya. So I think that was like June.
Last
It
year.
was May last year.
Long time, bro.
Very long time, bro.
Very long time. So yeah, that's a factor, man. Not, I know there's this all the talk about ring rust sort of things, but it's just a factor, you know. Not to say ring rust, but you know, just what's happening when you're coming up against someone.
Yeah.
Check what I've been watching.
Parent laugh.
Yeah, so it'll be super interesting. Toomey, I don't think we're going to be seeing Toomey unless it's on the prelims. Who else? Wade Cuspe we're going to see on that card. We're going to see Devin Crenier. I think Devin Crenier. Marino?
That's what I heard as well, yeah.
Yeah. Wade Cuspe, I'm not too sure. Who could Wade Cuspe be fighting? Is the question.
Is he staying in his weight category?
I would assume so. Let's have a look. We're going to guess. Thanks for letting us know, Wade. Have you noticed? Guys hop on the show, they get fights. So anyone out there looking to get a fight, you know what to do.
Who's Dansheel's manager?
No idea.
He sounds like he's doing a good job, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like he's doing a much better job than most of the managers in South Africa.
Well, he's going to Bucharest. Who could he be fighting? Kize.
Maybe
Yes.
Temba and Kize.
Yeah, Tim Kize could definitely be. Definitely not Conor Hignett.
No.
Definitely not Jake Hadley. Maybe Fafa.
He can't fight Kamish again. Definitely not Radley. Maybe Fafa, if Fafa's going back down.
Ruven de Beer.
Hmm?
So I would say he's either fighting Ruven de Beer or Fafa Duama. Or Mkize.
Yeah. Probably a good guess.
Interesting.
The only other outside
Interesting.
chance is Super.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly.
I heard Gary Josh is coming back.
Yeah, he's trying to come back, definitely. We got to get him on the show as well, which is on the list. Jeez, check out that class of TF2.
All gone.
Yeah, they're all gone, eh? All moved
Melanie
on.
just won a European beatdown.
What's happening?
Connie won at Octagon MMA.
Gabriella's got a fight. It's just happened or coming up.
What's the Czech chick?
Sandra.
Yeah, Sandra. She just won at Octagon MMA. Gabriella just lost a jungle fight.
I think Alice Arlian and Becky Ansko have retired from MMA.
No, Alice fought the other day. Alice actually got the Raws deal. She could have actually won. because she never lost the fight.
Yeah.
She won her 2 fights, and then she had a suspension. She couldn't move along in the competition. Connie's actually had 2 fights since leaving TF2.
Shauna Power, jeez.
She just had surgery.
She was supposed to come back this year.
Yeah, a September fight that never happened.
Unknown. Yeah, dude. It's been an interesting week in the fight world. A lot of stuff going on.
Did Van der Aar sign with a new promotion?
He fought the LFA, lost. He was trying to call out Matt Mitrione, maybe?
For Bellator. Okay.
Yeah. See what there's all sorts. Listen, bro, this is the best kind of fight week. There's just shit happening. Look at this. I hope we don't get kicked off for this shit, but let's see what's going on.
No, it should be okay.
That's Jorge Masvidal
in Timberlands.
In Timberlands, bro. My man, what is he actually doing?
Have you ever watched Jorge's diaries on his YouTube channel?
Yeah.
With his like
street fight jackies Timberlands, dude.
No, have you watched that? Have you watched him do the chronicles of his like diet and stuff? The Jorge Masvidal diet.
No.
It's like McDonald's and like he just eats
Oh,
the biggest lot of shit all the time, bro.
Let's see what old Funky has to say here.
Retirement is definitely something I'm considering.
Is it possible to compare how you're feeling on this Monday compared to when we talked to you on the Monday after the Masvidal fight?
I would say, I just when you asked me that, I would say after the Masvidal thing, I was definitely more disappointed because it was so dramatic, it was so fast. I didn't get to really fight at all, obviously. And then I lost such a gigantic opportunity in the fact that if I had won that fight, I'd probably be fighting for a title after that. With this one, number one, as I was reflecting this morning, I actually feel pretty good about my performance. Now, the last minute was a whole bunch of shit, but prior to that, I feel as though, listen, if I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong. I feel like I was winning the fight, both in the stand-up, and then I was getting the takedowns and doing ground and pound and kind of winning the scrambles on the ground.
But has this experience, the last 2 fights in particular, has this changed your opinion on continuing to fight? In other words, do you still want to do this after experiencing these 2 losses?
I mean, retirement is definitely something I'm considering. I would be lying to you if I said I was not. It's time cost analysis. I have a lot of things I want to do in my life. I'm a really busy guy. I have a lot of things I'm passionate about and I love. I mean,
so weird.
Not training specifically, but to and from setting stuff up. Spending say 30 hours a week on MMA related stuff. Can I place my time better somewhere else? It's definitely a thought process that crossed my mind. That being said, two more things, if I may.
Okay, Ben. I've heard enough. Yeah. Perhaps it is time to move on. Did you see this? Conor McGregor training Tyson Fury to make his MMA debut.
Are you serious? Is that like bullshit or is that legit?
I think it's pretty real, eh? What was this?
Bellator's definitely going to get onto that. Quick sticks.
Oh, did you see the submission, bro?
Oh, yeah. The Solov stretch.
He's going after. Look what he's doing here. This is a Suloev stretch. If he gets it, that is a painful maneuver. That is all over. Patchy, no love mixes 12-0. Watch the torque and the pressure on the hamstring here. Look at where his leg is at. It's now straight on the outside. That's a terrible position to be in. Amar Suloev made that his technique. It has now come into play multiple times in MMA fights, but a first for Patchy Mix. 50 Cent, look at that.
It's gangster when 50 Cent gives you a bottle of champagne for your submission. Bellator had some pretty crazy shit going down, eh?
Sorry. Allergies, fuck.
You bastard.
The problem with that submission though is like the guy that got submitted had to like properly fuck up to get into that position. Bro.
Yeah. And he also didn't do his yoga.
Like, why, when someone's on your back, why the fuck are you trying to base up and put your leg near your arm, like, at all? Like,
pyramid, bro. I want to shake him off.
He's got a fucking body triangle on you. Like,
I just want to see what Jesus is saying over here.
you ever like warned anyone who's tried you though? Like they, I mean, looking at you, you're not that physically imposing, and maybe they walk up and you're like, hey, you know what I could do to you in about 5 seconds?
You know, I've never had to say it. It's like transmitted through the eyeballs. Like when you look a wild animal in the eyes and you're like, whoa. No, I swear to you, I've never had to say it. It's just like I'll look you in the face and they'll know, like, oh no, there's no winning here. I'm gonna die right now if I continue.
There's no winning here.
You ever like warned anyone who's tried
What
you
a
though?
legend.
Like,
I love this dude. Look at this guy, bro. Just take a look. Oh, he's talking again. Awesome.
That's when, like, people always talk about when I hand out the 3 pieces in the soda, I'm so calm. Well, it started here, you know? Yeah. And I wasn't the type of guy that would talk crap to you like, oh, I'm going to kick your butt. It'd just be like, oh, okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Gone. You know? Because I learned if you stick around, the friends are going to get you. Or this guy's going to come back with a baseball bat. So I do my work, take off. Yeah. Yeah. Still the same guy. Yeah.
still doing it on your fighting career.
It goes to all these little co-workers of mine. They like to, they talk, but then when
guy,
they say, can I get a picture?
I love this guy.
I'm the same guy, man. I'm never gonna change, you know. That's why.
What a legend, bro.
It's like such a weird situation, like being like a super big jiu-jitsu nerd. Like I hope Diaz, being the black belt, pulls off like this sick submission. But at the same time, fuck, Jorge Masvidal is amazing, bro.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude. I don't know if I want to play that. What's below, bro?
No, show me. I didn't see what it is.
I don't mean no disrespect, but just have a look at this pad work going on here.
Mad men fight gear. Who is this guy?
No idea. Go away. Wherever they are, it's a bit windy. There was one I saw I was pretty intrigued by. It wasn't this guy at what's his face? Coach G?
Not sure, dude.
I'm pretty sure he was there at a stage. Oh, never mind. Sorry about that. It's a bit loud. We'll moving on swiftly away from that.
We're digressing.
Yeah, we are digressing in a big way. This is what happens when you start looking what's happening on Instagram, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Things are getting dicey. Things are getting super dicey. Yeah, dude. Bellator was pretty sick this weekend as well.
Yeah, a little bit of South African action in there.
Pumi, who we spoke to, was pretty cool.
So hold on, you were telling me, so was he born in Africa?
No, sir.
Born and raised in America.
Born and raised in America, sir.
Look, we'll take it, but I mean,
yeah, we'll take it.
He's not part of the African Renaissance.
Well, he's as much as a lot of those dudes are. You know, he's
look at least like at least Usman was like 12 when he left, and Adesanya was.
How dare you? How dare you? You will not take our South African away from us. Yeah, but it's always.
I watched that fight. He's fucking good, bro.
They call him Turbos. I thought someone was saying on his sign is like the fastest dude in MMA they've ever seen.
Bro, it looks like he throws every shot with like every bit of power he has.
I tried to hint last night that possibly we might see him versus Jake Hadley in Bellator because they're kind of out of options for flyweight. So they've done all one and dones with the flyweight. So maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe
he wants to come back to South Africa.
Yeah, that was a talk. But I mean, like this dude's training with Ray Longo. You know, like Chris Weidman, Aljamain Sterling. And,
yeah, you're gonna have to really sweeten that part to get those looks out.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the door to the UFC is right there. You know what I mean, you've obviously just got to get there. So,
where was Bellator this weekend? What's it?
Bro, I don't understand Bellator. It confuses the shit out of me, dude. Because there's like 17 fights in a night, 12 different cards in 7 different destinations. I don't know what's going on, bro. So I think there was two cards again. One was in the States somewhere. I don't fucking know, bro.
Because sometimes they split the cards, but it's the same venue, same everything. Yeah, so it's like Bellator Europe and then Bellator 234, whatever. It's the same
super
night.
Super confusing. Oh, shout out to Ray Akat for winning the Alpha title on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good.
What a beast.
With his signature triangle.
T-City, boy.
Whenever I grapple, I'm like, there's like one thing you have to always be aware of, that
Shoulder triangle. Luckily, I've got broad shoulders, so I tend to get away with that from time to time. And at the moment, I have no shoulders, so that's irrelevant. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, I think that's it.
Nice.
Fantastic.
What? You got a couple of interviews coming up this week?
Not at the moment. Maybe Mr. Mark Cumber, who's just harassing me non-stop to get on a little interview done.
But didn't you just did Pumi?
Yeah, Pumi, which is out already, up on
Okay.
YouTube. We were trying to get a few cool things done in the next couple of weeks. Get back on the road, filming some cool stuff, building up to the end of the year. So yeah, a lot of cool things in the works. I want to hopefully spend a bit of time with BK before he has a fight. I don't know if it's going to be before the end of the year or in the new year. He said he's got fight news coming, so we wait to hear. Yeah, a lot of cool things in the works, dude.
Awesome.
Busy time of year, but, you know, we've got to get these things done. Possibly going to go to Brave if that opportunity arises. Sounding like it's going to be a fun card. I think next week we're going to have the matchmaker from Brave on here.
Awesome.
And we're gonna get some cool details about that card. That's the plan. Hopefully that all works out. Should be cool.
Awesome,
very
dude.
cool.
Sounds amazing.
Sweet. And that's that. See ya.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.